All right, guys, welcome to the Buff Show. Today we have a market update coming your way. Me and Mr. Ben Larson.
Heavy on the mister.
How have you been doing?
You know, I can't complain. I do because it's fun, but I shouldn't.
That's good. So we are reviewing December's numbers. We're in January. We're reviewing December's. December's are always kind of a weird month because there is some motivation. People are trying to get into houses before the holidays.
Tax reasons. For
Tax
the
reason.
end of the year, too.
Yeah, tax reasons. If you're trying to secure property before the end of the year so you can do a cost seg or something like that.
Or some 1031 transfers usually get pushed quick so they can, get those done as well.
But overall, I feel like it is a slower time for us. So we're going to do the usual, just jumping into we are reviewing December of 2023 with December of 2022 and kind of comparing those differences. So let's jump into it. You want to cover new listings?
Sure. So new listings. In 2022, we had 2,363 new listings. December 2023, we had 2,594 new listings. So we had an increase of almost 10% from last December to the December we just had.
Which is an awesome sign because I feel like there's been so many sellers stuck in their homes because of their low interest rates, not wanting to move. So to see that number come up 10% is good.
Yep. The people that can get into it are getting into it, and the people that have been stuck because they don't want to make that move for their life choices.
Yeah.
They're giving up that rate, and they're just making that life move because rates aren't coming back.
Yeah. Do you think it's just because they're sick of waiting? Like they've been on the fence for so long and they're getting pushed off because they're like, we have to?
I don't know if it's so much sick of waiting. I think it's more of a realization that, like, this is where we're at. We're kind of, the dust has settled from the craziness. There's going to be slight variations and move the next year or two, but I don't think you're going to see anything super drastic. So I think they're just accepting the fact.
Yeah, that they have to make that move if they want to get into a different house. And it is hard. It's hard to leave like a 3 or 4% interest rate and jump into a 7% interest rate.
You see all the memes like you didn't know this. Our starter home was our forever home, because they don't want to get over that 3% interest or 2.9% interest.
What I think is helping a lot of sellers out though is there's still quite a few people with enough equity if you do have a house that that's helping them get into the next house with a higher rate. But it still sucks. So pending sales, we are up 10%. I'm not going to jump into all the numbers, but I think that's just a good sign. The market is heating up from 2022 into 2023, so that's good.
And pending, remember, these ones are accepted offers on them, so they're potential to close.
Yep.
Closed sales. So these are the ones that have actually closed. So last December to 2022 December, we are actually down.
Which is weird.
So
explain that one to me.
Well, here's the thing. I think November, December, that holiday time, I think everyone slowed down. But coming January, a lot of people were putting houses under contract in December, and they're going to close sometime this January. So I think we're going to see those numbers flip-flop a little bit. I
think we will see that, but that's just weird that closed sales were down. I mean, it's only 2.7%, but I can't exactly explain that one for you.
So the actual numbers, I mean, you're less than 100 homes in all of Utah. So it is down, but I mean, it's almost flatline.
Yeah, very minimal. Okay, days on market until sell. We like this one. This is just good if you're a seller looking at selling a house. This is the average numbers of days between when a property is listed and when you go under contract or you accept an offer. So in 2022 of December, there was 60 days on market. We're down to 57 in December 2023. So we're down 5%, which is good. But it's funny because you jump back into December of 2021, you were 29 days. So we jumped up, we doubled, and then we're slowly coming down a little bit, which is good.
Right.
A little bit less days on market. We're still, I feel like we talk about this a lot, but you go back to 2011 and you were like 100 days, 100 to 120 days on market until sell. So we're still half of what we were during kind of the recession period. But I still feel like a lot of sellers are like, oh man, 60 days until we have to get an offer accepted. And then you're another 30 to 45 days till close.
And I think that's the hardest part in the market right now is the illusion of what happened in the pandemic time.
Yeah.
Of what real estate should and shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So we've got median sales price. Remember, the median sales price is where we take all the sales in Utah and we start at each end and knock one off until we get to the middle.
kind of the number you and I prefer more, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't get skewed by
the highs and the lows.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just we're cutting it right down to the center of the cells. So in December of 2022, it was 477,000. In December of 2023, it was 473, almost 474,000.
Yeah.
So we're down about almost 1%. So
yeah,
same thing. Yeah, we're down a little bit, but basically a flat line.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at the graph that we'll post up here, like you will see it flatlining. Like the past, 12 months have been flatline. If you look at the graph.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
like
we peaked
2022, like spring of 2022 was the peak, and then it did a drastic drop, and then we've kind of bounced back up, and now we're just flatlined, just plateau.
Baby movements.
And then average price, take all the sales, add them up, divide it by the number. That gives you the average, and it's interesting how much higher it is than the median, but I guess it is different metrics that you're using to get to that point. But we're up 3%, so we're down on the median, up on the average, flat line. I mean, that's
meaning
a perfect,
just some more higher end homes sold compared to cheaper homes.
Yeah, yeah.
But the graphs say the same thing. It shows a spike, same time, spring of 2022.
Yeah,
a quick correction throughout, the spring of 23, and then now through the fall and winter of 23 till now, we've kind of just plateaued, kind of stabilizing. So same graphical data, different numbers.
Yep.
Okay, percent of original price received. So basically, how much of total asking are people getting? So last year in December of 22, there we go, people were getting 93.6% of what they were asking for. In December of 23, they were getting 95% of what they were asking for. So we're about a 2% increase.
That's good
on how we're getting close to asking.
So you deal finders out there, it's getting the deals are getting not as good.
Right.
Like I would say the best time to find a deal was sometime in 2022, probably the winter of 2022. And you'll look at the graph again. We spiked up and we've kind of come down a little bit. But we're more of a flat line. If you go back into 2021, we were 100% of list price received on average. So we're still down from that, but we're up from 2022. So
and see, I like this one, but the thing about list price received, right? We're in a negotiating and a bargaining. That's what we do, right?
Right.
So you list your house, and unless it's a feeding frenzy, I mean, to get that 100% asking average is massive.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants a deal. Everybody's going to try to get something out of it.
Yeah.
So 95 is good.
Yeah, 95 is good.
Top notch.
I feel like that's just people asking for some concessions or some things like that.
Sure.
Seller paid closing costs. Sellers are a little bit more desperate. Their homes are sitting on the market longer. They're willing to negotiate more.
I wouldn't even say desperate anymore. I'd say we're just to a healthy negotiation.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Housing Affordability Index. Ben always loves it when he misses this one. So this basically tells us how affordable the housing market is, giving median household income and home prices and interest rates. So the higher the number, the more affordable things are. The lower the number, the less affordable things are. As you can see in the chart, we're down quite a bit, but we're actually coming up from earlier months this year. I think June, July was August. September was, October 64 was the lowest when things were the least affordable. And now we're up to 73. And if we compare back to December of 2022, that was 73 as well. So we're a 0% change. However, we've seen some ebbs and flows over the past year. And this is just a way that you can look at how affordable are things in general, given house prices, interest rates, and wages.
And they take these numbers off the median household price and the median household income.
Right.
That's the target audience when they're saying the affordability index.
But it's when I bought my first house, 2012, the affordability index was around 180.
Super doable.
Yeah, way more affordable. So it's just it's hard to buy a house right now, is what that chart says.
Inventory of homes for sale. I knew that. Okay. In 2022 of December, I keep saying that wrong. December of 2022, we had 10,891 homes for sale that were active on the market. In December of 2023, we had 9,347. So in 1 year, we had about 14% less homes on the market in December in all of Utah than we did in 2022. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think back to some of the other numbers that we were looking at, because we were looking at pending sales or new listings are up, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like why don't we have more inventory? I guess pending sales were up, closed sales were down. So maybe the pending is what is throwing this number off slightly. But this is basically the number of properties available for sale and active status at the end of a given month. So I don't know. I know we're down from last year, but our new listings are going up. To be honest, I don't know exactly how to interpret this given the numbers we were talking to at the beginning. But if you look back at 2021, we were only 4,421 homes on the market. So we're over double what we had 2 years ago, which is good. Like I enjoy shopping with buyers right now just because there is more homes to look at.
Yep.
But we're still not.
But it's
30,000.
It's not carnage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have 30,000 homes to look at, like we did in 2008, like that's 3 times the amount that we have now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's where homes start sitting on the market 6 months and just taking way longer to sell. And then buyers have all the time in the world, you you never see multiple offers in those markets, really.
So you're seeing from about, it looks like 2016 to now, cutting out the pandemic, that's about where we've sat inventory around that 8 to 15,000 range.
Yeah. So 100%. And then month supply of inventory. So this is the inventory of homes for sale at the end of a given month divided by the average monthly pending sales from the last 12 months. So in 2022, we are 3.1 months supply of inventory. 2023, we're 2.9. So we're down 6%.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These are the numbers that I lost, by the way, a bet with another agent, because these numbers indicate a buyer or a seller's market.
Yeah.
What do they say the split is? If it's
I've heard
more than 6 months, it's a buyer's market. Less than 6 months, it's a seller's market.
But I've heard a lot of definitions about that too. So I don't know if there's actually it's like when are we in a recession? Like everybody has different metrics for that. But what I've been told is anything less than 6 months is still a buyer's market or seller's market. Anything over 6 months supply is a seller's market.
Buyer's market.
Yeah, buyer's market.
Thank you. I mean, in either way you look at the definition, we are trending toward a seller's market.
Yeah.
From last year to this year. So buyers that are sitting on the fence, like I know you hear it beat into you on social media all the time. It's time to get off the fence. Like the market's still there, it's still going, and it's going to leave you.
So here, and we get asked this question all the time. Like, Ben, when's the best time to buy a house? Or when should I buy a house? Or like anytime you try and predict the market, you're going to lose 100%.
Yep.
And I don't care if you bought 5 houses in 2009 when prices were at the all-time high. You would not be mad if you still had those houses today.
Absolutely.
If you were in the financial situation that you could carry them. So it depends on your situation is what I tell people. Like, what's your advice for people that are sitting on the fence, trying to time the market?
Well, honestly, I don't. Unless you're a gambler and a millionaire, and that's when you try to time the market because you've got your base set.
Yeah.
Majority of us don't. We need a base, and we're talking with the old boys at coffee this morning, and they said, you know what, we're going to be okay because we have our houses already.
Yeah.
And that kind of struck me they have a base.
Yeah.
Like they got in, they have their house. Like these younger kids out here,
just get in.
Scrap, do what you have to do to get into a house. So in 10 years from now, you're not going, man, what am I going to do still? And don't be a victim. Get in and, be part of this.
It's like when's the best time to plant a tree? Yesterday, right? And has there ever been a house that you bought that you weren't slightly nervous to buy? You're like, I'm wondering, is this a good idea?
Every single one of them.
Exactly.
Every single one of them.
And I feel like the same way, but hindsight's 2020, and I look back and I'm like, I should have bought 5 more of those. Yep. And I could have just bought them off the MLS. They didn't even have to be that good of deals, but just over time, things tend to get just appreciation.
Yep. My grandpa Larson always used to tell me, a bad real estate investment in 10 years will be a good real estate investment.
Yeah.
So keep in mind.
And if the option, I mean, if you have other options, you can live with family or whatever, but like life's too short to try and time it and to try and sacrifice so much to just get a good deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like over time, it will make it a good deal. Now, if you can swing the payments, I'm not saying go buy something that you shouldn't be buying because you
don't
can't
get in trouble
because you can't make the payments. But anything is better than renting. If you're renting, like figure out a way to get into a house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my 2 cents for the day. I think this next year we're going to see it's going to be a roller coaster again. The market is shifting faster and faster every time. The cycles are changing faster and faster. And even like we listen to all these podcasts and the economists talking about what their predictions are, and every time it's different. Like it's going up, it's going down. We don't know, and I think nobody really knows.
And here's the thing, you guys, we're not financial planners and we're not lenders and stuff, but call us because we've all been there. We've helped tons of people through it. Hey, how much money should I save? We can help you lay out a plan.
Yeah,
get going. So.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully this was helpful as we trend into the new year. We're going to do some predictions in the next podcast. That'll be funny to watch. See how if any of us hit the nail on the head. But stay tuned for that one. Thanks, guys.
See you later.